Hello everyone. My name is Priza and today we have with us Dr. KP Sandhya Rao. Hello ma'am.
Hello, Priza. I'm happy to be here.
So ma'am, before we start with today's talk on branding and integrated marketing communication, can you please introduce yourself to the viewers and also tell them what your role is in this institution?
Okay. Hi, I'm Dr. KP Sandhya Rao, and I joined this institute in 2003. Before that, I was working in the industry in the field of advertising, branding, and public relation, and also I worked in the media.
Thank you ma'am. So ma'am, you just told us that you worked in the corporate. So now you're working in the educational institution. So why the transition ma'am? Why go from uh, corporate to educational institute?
Okay, as I was saying, Priza, I was working in the industry for 6 years in Bangalore. And in the year 2003, I joined Nitte, Justice Case Hegde Institute of Management. And whatever experience I had garnered in the discipline of advertising, media, public relation, enabled me to put this into practice when I was teaching advertising and branding over here at the institute. So I feel, yes, I wanted to experiment. I wanted to reach out to young minds, and I thought this is the best platform for me to teach the young students.
Okay ma'am. So ma'am, you have over 2 decades of experience in teaching branding. So I know people who think branding is all about logos, just about the colors. But I'm sure that branding has a different meaning to it. So, what is branding, ma'am? And how has branding evolved over the past 2 decades, according to you?
A very interesting and very relevant question, Priza. Yes, branding has evolved over the years, and it is more strategic and long term planning for any organization. So, when I teach branding for the students, I try to tell them to recall and recollect about how each brand has been developing over the period of time. And branding, as you said, is all about not alone, colors or logo. It's much more. It's about building something from nothing, and you earn profits. You have steady stream of revenue and make a brand strong. So the question is, what makes a brand strong and what are strong brands? So here it all goes about how to develop a brand. So colors is one part, but there are ways to build a brand. First and foremost is to create awareness about the brand. So we have something about brand recall and brand recognition. And first step in building brand is creating brand elements where your brand name and your logo and color comes. That is just a small step. But beyond that, we have several strategic decisions taken by the company.
Thank you, ma'am. You just told us how branding is not just about colors, it's way more than that. It's about strategies, it has a lot of layers to it. Ma'am, you also told us two questions, which is what makes a brand strong and what is a strong brand. So when you listen to it, it both sounds the same, but I'm very sure that it has a different meaning to it. So can you please elaborate on it?
Yes, Frieza, I will do that. I agree, it is a colorful play of words. Now, what makes a brand strong? That is how to build a brand. There are three ways to build a brand. First, as I told you about building a brand through brand elements. You have a logo, you have a brand name, you have a symbol, you have a jingle, you have a URL, which is very unique to the brand. And of course, the color also matters a lot, and packaging for most of the consumer products. That is one way to build the brand. And second is about all your marketing programs and activities. See, brand is like an organism which requires nourishment. And your marketing program, including advertisement and including all these advertisements, and you have this different social media, television, they're all the different media for these advertisements. And you have direct marketing, you have event marketing, you have sports, you have all different various options for your advertisements to be reaching to the audience. And that is one food for the brand. So first you build the brand elements, then you give food for this brand. And also third is you link the brand to different entities. You link the brand to the company, you link the brand to the country of origin, you link the brand to various co-brands, you link the brand to celebrity, you license the characters, you have other party accreditation, you have other party awards and reviews, and that will strengthen your brand. Ultimately, Priza, Branding is all what resides in the minds of the customers. So customers are very important and very pivotal in branding. That was the answer for your question, what makes a brand strong? And yes, I will also answer what is a strong brand. A strong brand will attract loyal customers who pay premium, and also it is not vulnerable to competitor action. And also you get very good response to whatever activities and programs with the brand releases. So that is the advantage of a strong brand, wherein people pay premium, you have sizable customer size, and automatically you earn revenue, and that is an intangible asset for an organization. And ultimately, as I told you, branding is all that resides in the minds of the customer. So branding, you can say differential knowledge about a particular product, and that is equal to brand awareness and brand image. So you can look into the equation, brand knowledge is equal to brand awareness plus brand image. And brand awareness is brand recall and brand recognition. So now the two questions are answered. What is a strong brand and what makes a brand strong?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sure that our viewers know now what branding is. So, ma'am, branding and advertising, these are the subjects that cannot be taught in theory. These are practical subjects. So, how are these subjects, I mean, the branding and advertising, been taught in Justice K.S. Hegde Institute of Management, ma'am?
Yes, Priza, as I was telling you earlier, see, brand is just like any organism, okay? And we have food for that organism, and that food is advertising. And I am fortunate to teach advertising in this institute. And the year I joined in 2003, I was handling the subject called integrated marketing communication, which is very important for any organization, because here we try to integrate all the tools of marketing and promotion. So over here, we include advertising, we include direct marketing, we include public relation, publicity, events, and also sales promotion and personal selling. Now, advertising, how it has been taught. It is, yes, as you said, not theory only, it is more practical. So over here, I have collected advertisements in the newspaper, physically in the newspaper, which for the past few years, and I show these ads to the students and tell about the creativity, about the big message, about the big idea. See, for every brand, there should be a big idea for the campaign. Like I will give you one example. Now, Santur brand, okay, for a soap, it is about mistaken identity. They want to speak about the attributes of the ingredients, that is your sandalwood and turmeric, which try to make the skin very young, and that is what mistaken identity. The person in that particular advertisement is mistaken for a college student. That is a mistaken identity. So we need to have a short a phrase for your big idea. So now I tell the students to create short phrases for different brands and identify what could be the big idea for that particular brand. Now even for Surf Excel, they say daag achhe hain. So they speak about childhood. They say that yes, you get dirty, no problem, but live your childhood, because your dirty clothes will be washed very quickly, very fast, very effectively with Surf Excel. So advertisement is taught by making them do different type of activities, coming out with a plan or a campaign. I also tell my students to come out with a campaign for our own institute. So they try to come out with brochures, come out with posters, they come out with an advertisements for our institute, they come out with direct marketing, telemarketing, and all possible tools which is required to reach out to the audience who are the prospective students for our institute. So this is the way I try to involve my students to understand the different facets of advertising.
Okay, mom. So, yes, JKSHIM has a lot of things, practical things that they do to teach students or make the students know about what branding is, what integrated marketing communication is. So, ma'am, now let's say a student is very much a child or a person is very much interested in getting into branding or integrate IMC. What is the skills that you believe that these people should have? Yes, when they come to JKSHIM, they will learn the skills, but before coming here, I'm sure they need something in them that would make them way better. What is those skills that you think is required?
Priza, you need to think differently. You need to have the creative spark and communicate very well, put across your views and your ideas in a very effective way. That are the skills which is required if you're working for a brand and working in the field of branding. Like I told you, you need to be street smart. you need to be well informed, you need to know how to put across your word. Again, I'm saying, because that is how you need to convince the people. The convincing capability and skills are required. And you know, to negotiate, you know, to put forth your creative ideas, you need to feel it, you need to make it happen. So those things are much more important for an individual who would like to go into branding and advertising.
Yes, ma'am. So we spoke about the skills that a person interested in branding should have. Now, since you've been working in the institution teaching branding for decades, I'm sure you have come through a lot of things, like maybe life lessons, ma'am, that have taught you few more things than what you knew. So what are the three life lessons that you think that a person who will enter branding should look into or should know about? What are those three things, ma'am?
Okay. Fine, Priza. Even this is a wonderful question. I think it's very relevant, and I think everybody would love to listen about this. So let me just tell you what are the branding lessons which I feel is required for everybody. First and foremost, branding starts from the word called difference. So that is called as differential knowledge. So if all of them are same or similar, then you do not stand out. You do not stand out. So you'll be one among the crowd. You'll be blended in the crowd. So first and foremost, you should have a unique identity. You have to be different, and that is the first important lesson. How different you are from the others. That means you have something which others don't have, and you are sought after, and people, the company, all of them would want to take you. No, that is very important. And second is about core value. So branding is all about the core value, about your DNA, about your essence. What is your essence? What makes you? What is the stuff in you? So that is very important. Like for core value, it could be authenticity or integrity. See, these values, credibility, these values are very important, and the corporate world would always appreciate an individual who has got integrity or authenticity or who is genuine. So first is about identity and how different you are, how unique you are. Second is all about how genuine you are or authentic you are as your core brand value. That is your core value, that is your essence or your DNA, or what is the stuff in you. And third is the overall package, that is very important. How do you put everything together and create the ultimate package which is most sought after, which is very attractive, and which is irreplaceable? I feel if you or any of the person can be replaced, then you are one among the others. As I said, if you are unique, if you are different, you have a unique identity with a strong core value, and if you are irreplaceable, that is what counts a lot. So, to sum up, you have to be unique, having your own identity, and you have to have very strong core value. And third is you have to be irreplaceable. Priza, you told about activity based learning, what I've adopted for my class. Okay, so I have developed an activity for students who are opting for advertising and branding. Now, this activity includes all the facets of marketing. So I will be giving them a product, like for example, it could be an ethnic flavored beverage. Now they have to come out with different variants for this. That is line extension. They learn about line extension. They have to come different, variants or different types or sizes or prices for this particular product. I give an example of ethnic flavored beverage. And then they have to come out, as I told you, the first step in involving a strong brand, they have to come out with different brand elements like brand name, logo, URL, color, packaging, and also a character or a mascot or a slogan or a jingle. So they will come to know about brand elements, they'll come to know about line extension, different flavors, different fragrance or different variants, and then they have to sell it. So in the class, they have to put in a stall and they have to sell it, and they will learn about in-store promotion, what is required for selling. They'll know about the quality, about the quantity, about the hygiene, about the labeling. So they have to have the salesmanship and they have to know the selling skills. And also they have to brand it, in the sense they have to come out with a campaign for this. Now they have to come out with a radio ad, they have to come out with a TV commercial, they have to come out with digital marketing campaign, they have to start their own campaign on YouTube and also Facebook and Instagram. So they will come to know about customer engagement, customer metrics, and they'll know about like, forward, and all other metric which is important in digital marketing. They also should understand about celebrity endorsement. So they have to identify who could be the person who could endorse their brand. So they learn about celebrity, and they'll know that it is very essential to have a source who could identify with their brand and make the brand stand out. So this activity will give them an experience about celebrity endorsement or a brand ambassador. And digital marketing, as I told you, television commercials, radio ad, they have to come out with the poster, they have to come out with the print ad, and they know about the different elements of print ad, about the message, the big idea which I was talking about, and what is the campaign theme. So this is what I'll be designing in the class for them to come out with. And also overall 4 Ps, that is your promotion, which they understood, which I spoke about it earlier, and pricing, which is very important about costing, and also about in-store promotion and online marketing, that is your place, and also about the product, that is branding and the product line extension and all that. So this activity which I've designed will give them a complete exposure practically about how to build a brand, how to brand it, how to communicate about the brand to the audience, and also in terms of marketing and promoting it. So I feel this activity is something which I've designed for them to have, you can say, experiential learning, and also have practical exposure near real life situation which is created in that particular context. So this, I thought, will give them an experience about overall advertising and branding. Thank you.